Hello again, everybody. This is Casey Kasem. Welcome back to American Top 40. It's Saturday, March 14th, 1987, and as I sit here in the studio, looking out at the Los Angeles skyline, the sun just starting to dip behind those palm trees, I can't help but think about journeys, a slight pause. Almost contemplative, not the kind you take on a highway with a map and a destination, but the other kind. The kind where you don't know where you're going, where every door seems locked, where every voice says, turn back, but something inside you, some stubborn, beautiful, impossible thing says, keep walking. Casey, I want you to do something for me. Close your eyes. I know you might be driving, or cleaning the house, or doing homework, but just for a moment, come with me. Let me take you somewhere. It's November 1982. You're standing on a street corner in New York City. Not the New York you see in movies, not the glittering Fifth Avenue with the department store windows, and the yellow cabs and the Broadway lights. No, this is the Lower East Side, Alphabet City, Avenue C, where even the cops don't want to go after dark. The rain is coming down hard. Not the romantic kind of rain, the cold November kind that soaks through your jacket and makes your bones ache. The streetlights are flickering. Half of them are broken. There's graffiti on every wall, some of it art, some of it just anger. And there, in the doorway of a closed bodega, standing under a torn awning that's barely keeping her dry, is a young woman. She's maybe 23, 24 years old. She's wearing a denim jacket that's the sizes to big, probably from a thrift store. Maybe 50 cents. Her hair is short, dark, a little wild. Her shoes, those cheap canvas sneakers, have holes in them. You can see her socks are wet. In her hand, she's holding a brown manila envelope, the kind you buy at the corner store for 15 cents. And inside that envelope is a cassette tape, her demo tape. The tape she's been carrying to every club, every producer, every person who might listen for the last. God, how long has it been? A year? 2 years? CASEY. She's been up since 4:30 this morning. She works at a diner on the corner of 8th and 23rd Empire Diner, if you know it. She serves coffee and eggs to businessmen who don't look at her face. She clears plates. She smiles when people snap their fingers at her. She makes $3.35 an hour plus tips. You know what her tips were today? $4.60. $4.60. Voice grows heavier after her shift. She didn't go home. Because home isn't really home. Home is a 1976 Buick Skylark parked on Avenue B. The back seat is where she sleeps. There's a blanket stolen from a laundromat and a pillow that smells like mildew. Her clothes are in a garbage bag in the trunk. So no, she didn't go home. She went to an audition. A dance audition for some off-Broadway show that probably won't even open. She didn't get the part. They said she was too ethnic. Whatever that means, Casey, and now it's 8 p.m. She's supposed to meet a guy, some club promoter, some DJ at a place called Danceteria. He said he'd listen to her tape. He said, maybe, that's all. Maybe. But here's the thing, folks. This is the 37th time she's heard maybe. 37. I want you to think about that number. 37 times someone has taken her tape, listened for 30 seconds, and said, no, not what we're looking for. Next. And you know what? I don't blame her if, standing in that doorway, with the rain pouring down and her shoes full of water, and for $1.60 in her pocket, she thought about quitting. I don't blame her if she thought, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should call my father. Maybe I should go back to Michigan and get a real job and stop this stupid dream, Casey. But here's what she doesn't know. Here's what she can't know. Standing in that doorway in 1982, in less than 2 years, her face will be on the cover of Rolling Stone. In less than 3 years, she'll perform in front of 90,000 people. In less than 5 years, she'll be the most famous woman in the world. But tonight, she's just a girl with a wet demo tape and a dream that won't die. Her name is Madonna, Casey. Now, before we get to that rainy night in 1982, before we get to the song that changed everything, I want to take you back even further. Because you can't understand where someone's going unless you know where they came from. Bay City, Michigan, August 16th, 1958. A baby girl is born to Silvio and Madonna Ciccone. They name her Madonna Louise Ciccone after her mother. She's the third of 6 children. Eventually, there will be 8. Her father, Silvio Toni. Everyone calls him, he's an engineer at Chrysler. Good man, strict, Italian Catholic, the old school kind. Church every Sunday. Dinner at 6. Homework before TV. He believes in discipline, hard work. The American dream. Her mother, Madonna Sr., she's beautiful. Dark hair, soft voice. She's the kind of mother who sings while she does dishes. Who braids her daughter's hair. Who makes the house feel like home. Little Madonna, we'll call her that for now. She's a firecracker. Not the quiet, obedient daughter Tony hoped for. No, she's the one climbing trees, doing cartwheels in church, asking why when she's supposed to just obey. Her brothers and sisters, they're good kids. They follow the rules. But Madonna, she's always pushing, always testing, always wanting more attention, more space, more. And her mother, Madonna Sr., she sees it. She sees something special in this little girl. She tells her, you're going to do big things, Madonna. You're different. And then, December 1st, 1963, Madonna is 5 years old. Her mother is sick. Breast cancer. She's been fighting it for a year, but in 1963, that's not much they can do. The family doesn't talk about it. They pray, they hope. But little Madonna, she knows. She can see it in her mother's eyes. The way she moves slower. The way she winces when she lifts things. December 1st, 1963, Madonna's mother dies. She's 30 years old. Madonna is 5. And for the rest of her life, she will say that this was the moment everything changed. Not just losing her mother, but losing the person who made her feel special. Who made her feel seen? Her father remarries a few years later. A woman named Joan. She's nice enough, but she's not Madonna's mother. And suddenly, there are more kid stepbrothers, stepsisters. The house that once felt like home now feels crowded. And little Madonna, she feels invisible. So she does what any kid who feels invisible does. She fights for attention. She acts out. She becomes the best student in class, straight A's, every time. She joins every club. She learns ballet. She practices until her feet bleed because if she can't be loved, she'll be noticed. 1978, Madonna is 19 years old. She's at the University of Michigan on a dance scholarship. Full ride. Her father is proud his daughter, going to college. But Madonna, she's restless. She's dancing 6 hours a day. She's the best in her class. Her teacher, Christopher Flynn, he's the first person since her mother who tells her, "You're special, but you're too good for this place. You need to go to New York." So one day, in the summer of 1978, Madonna makes a decision. She goes to her father and says, "Madonna, I'm leaving. I'm going to New York. I'm going to be a dancer." Casey, and Tony, her father, he says, "Tony Ciccone, are you crazy? You have a scholarship. You have a future here. New York will eat you alive, Madonna, then let it." Casey, she gets on a Greyhound bus with $35 in her pocket. That's it, $35. No apartment, no job, no plan. The bus ride takes 14 hours. She sits in the back, watching Michigan disappear through the window. Farmland, small towns. The kind of places where people stay their whole lives, safe, predictable. But Madonna, she's going the other way. She arrives at Port Authority bus terminal. July, 1978. It's 95 degrees. The city smells like garbage and exhaust. People are pushing past her. Nobody looks at her. Nobody cares. She gets in a cab, her first New York taxi. She tells the driver, "Take me to Times Square." She wants to see the lights, the glamour, the dream. The driver, some guy from Queens, he looks at her in the rearview mirror. This skinny girl with a duffel bag and stars in her eyes. And he says, "You got money, kid." Madonna shows him her $35. He laughs. Not mean, just realistic. He says, "Times Square ain't what you think, sweetheart. But okay, your funeral." And he's right. Times Square in 1978 isn't the Disney version you see today. It's porn theaters and junkies and hustlers. It's dangerous. It's dirty. It's everything her father warned her about, but Madonna stands there, in the middle of it all. And she thinks, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. She has no idea where she's going to sleep that night, but she's smiling. The next few years, 1978 to 1982, are a blur of survival. And folks, when I say survival, I mean it. Casey first, she needs a place to live. She crashes with a friend from Michigan for 2 weeks. Then that friend kicks her out. So she finds a sublet in the Bronx, a studio apartment she shares with 2 other dancers. $50 a month, no heat, cockroaches everywhere. She gets a job at Dunkin' Donuts. Minimum wage. She works the morning shift 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. making donuts, serving coffee. Her hands are always sticky with sugar and grease. After work, she goes to dance auditions, Broadway shows, music videos, anything. She gets rejected, a lot. Too short, too intense, not what we're looking for, but she keeps dancing. She takes classes at the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. She's broke, so sometimes she sneaks in without paying. She practices until her feet bleed, literally. She tapes them up and keeps going. At night, she goes to clubs, not to party, to network. She meets musicians, DJs, producers. She tells everyone the same thing. "Madonna, I'm going to be famous, Casey." Some people laugh. Some people believe her. 1979, she joins a band called Breakfast Club. She plays drums and guitar. They're, okay, not great. They play small clubs in the East Village. 20 people in the audience. But Madonna isn't satisfied just playing drums in the back. She wants to sing. She wants to be front and center. The band says no. "You're a drummer, Madonna. Stay in your lane." So she quits. She says, "Madonna, fine, I'll start my own band, Casey." And she does. She calls it Madonna, just Madonna, her name. Because why not? But starting a band costs money. And Madonna doesn't have money. So she does what she has to do. She poses for photographers, art students, mostly. Sometimes nude. $5 an hour, sometimes 10 if she's lucky. Years later, when she's famous, those photos will resurface. Tabloids will call them scandalous. But Madonna will just shrug and say, "Madonna, I need a tea." Casey, she models for a Times Square peep show poster. She doesn't care. She needs the $50. 1980, she's 22. She's still living in that Bronx apartment. Still working random jobs, coat check girl, waitress, go-go dancer. She's exhausted. She's lonely. She calls her father once a month, and every time he asks, "When are you coming home?" And every time she says, "Madonna, I'm not." Casey, because here's the thing, and this is important, Madonna isn't just trying to be famous for the sake of fame. She's trying to prove something. To her father, to her stepmother, To everyone who said, you'll never make it, but mostly, she's trying to prove it to herself. 1982. This is the year everything starts to shift. Not overnight, nothing ever happens overnight. But slowly, like the sun rising. By now, Madonna has written a few songs. They're not masterpieces, not yet, but they're catchy. They're danceable. They're hers. She records a demo tape on borrowed equipment. For songs, she makes 50 copies by hand on cassette tapes. She writes her name on them with a Sharpie. She puts them in those brown manila envelopes, and then she walks. Every day, after work, she walks to every record label, every producer's office, every club. She hands them the envelope and says, Madonna, listen to this. I'm going to be famous, Casey. 36 times. She hears no, or worse, she hears nothing. The envelope disappears into a drawer, never to be opened. Number 37 is different. It's a club called Danceteria, for floors of chaos punk rock on the first floor, new wave on the second, disco on the third, and the fourth floor is just a whatever, art installations, weird performances, people doing drugs in corners. It's 1980 to New York in a nutshell. The DJ there is a guy named Mark Kamens. He's young, maybe 25, and he's good. He knows music. He knows what makes people move. Madonna walks up to him one night. It's late, maybe 2 a.m. The club is packed. And she says, Madonna, I need you to listen to something. Casey, Mark's heard this 1,000 times. Everyone in New York is trying to be a star. He almost says no. But there's something about her the way she looks at him, like she knows he's going to say yes. So, he takes the tape. He says, I'll listen to it later. And Madonna says, Madonna, no, now. Casey, she doesn't leave. She just stands there, waiting. So Mark, partly annoyed, partly amused, he puts the tape in. He expects garbage. He expects another wannabe with no talent and big dreams, but then the song starts. The song is called Everybody, and it's good, not perfect. The production is rough. Her voice is raw. But there's something there, an energy, a hook. Mark plays it again, then again, and by the third time, people on the dance floor are asking, who is this? He turns to Madonna and says, where'd you get this? And she says, Madonna, I wrote it. That's the moment. Right there. That's when the door cracks open. Mark Kamens becomes Madonna's first believer. He starts playing Everybody at Danceteria every night. It becomes a club hit not on the radio, not on MTV, but in the underground. People are asking for it, requesting it, and Mark knows a guy. He always knows a guy. This guy's name is Michael Rosenblatt, and he works for Sire Records, a label under Warner Brothers. Mark calls Michael and says, you need to hear this girl. She's going to be huge. Michael is skeptical. He's heard this before. But he trusts Mark, so he agrees to a meeting. Madonna shows up at Sire Records in May, 1982. She's wearing thrift store clothes, ripped jeans, a tank top, bracelets up to her elbows. She walks in like she owns the place. Michael plays her tape. He's impressed, but he's not sold. He says, can you perform? Can you do this live? And Madonna says, Madonna, set up a mic. Right now, Casey. So they do. Right there, in the office. Madonna grabs the mic and sings Everybody, a cappella at first, then with the tape. And she doesn't just sing, she performs. She moves. She commands the room. When she's done, there's silence. Then Michael looks at her and says, how much you need? Madonna doesn't hesitate. She says, Madonna, $15,000. And creative control. Casey, Michael laughs. You're 23 years old. Nobody gets creative control. Madonna just stares at him. Madonna, I do. Casey, they settle on a compromise. One single, $15,000. If it fails, they part ways. If it works, they'll talk. Madonna signs the contract in June 1982. She's officially a recording artist. She's also still living in her car. Everybody is released in October 1982. It's a 12-inch single vinyl, the kind DJs play in clubs. There's no music video, no radio push. It's just out there, and slowly, it starts to move. Dance clubs in New York play it, then clubs in Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles. People are dancing to it without knowing who Madonna is. The single doesn't have her picture on it, just her name. In fact, a lot of people think Madonna is black. The song is that R&B, funk vibe. And Madonna doesn't correct anyone. She just lets the music speak. By December, Everybody is number 3 on the Billboard Dance Club chart. Not the Hot 100, the dance chart. But still, it's a hit. Sire Records calls her back. Okay, you were right. Let's do an album. Madonna is 24 years old. She's about to record her first full-length album. And she has very specific ideas about how it should sound. 1983, Madonna is in the studio, recording her debut album. It's being produced by Reggie Lucas, a talented guy who's worked with people like Stephanie Mills. But there's a problem. Reggie wants the album to sound polished, professional, radio-friendly. Madonna wants it to sound raw, edgy, like the clubs she's been playing. Casey, they clash constantly. Reggie will say, let's do another take. Smooth out that vocal. And Madonna will say, Madonna, no, it's perfect like that. It is feeling, Casey. It gets so bad that Madonna eventually goes behind Reggie's back. She calls her friend John Jellybean Benitez, a DJ and remixer, and says, Madonna, I need you to fix this album, Casey. So Jellybean comes in and remixes half the tracks. He adds more synth, more bass, more of that club energy Madonna wanted. When Reggie finds out, he's furious. But by then, it's too late. The album is done. The album is called, simply, Madonna. It's released in July 1983. The cover is a close-up of her face off focus, a little mysterious. She's wearing a dog collar. It's provocative without being explicit. The first single is Holiday. It's upbeat, catchy, feel good. It becomes a summer anthem. By August, it's in the top 20. By September, it's top 10. The second single is Borderline. Slower, more emotional. It becomes her first top 10 hit on the Hot 100, and then comes Lucky Star. This is when MTV gets involved. Music videos are everything in 1983. Michael Jackson is Thriller. Duran Duran is Hungry Like the Wolf. And now, Madonna has Lucky Star. The video is simple Madonna dancing in a white room, wearing fingerless gloves, rubber bracelets, and layered crucifixes. It's a look, and teenage girls across America start copying it. By the end of 1983, Madonna is no longer an underground club artist. She's a pop star, but she's not satisfied. She wants more. The audience doesn't know what to think. Some people are cheering. Some people are shocked. Backstage, executives are panicking, thinking, did she just ruin her career? But the next day, everyone is talking about it. Every newspaper, every TV show, every radio station. Did you see what Madonna did? And that's when Madonna learns the most important lesson of her career. It doesn't matter if they love you or hate you. What matters is that they can't stop talking about you. Casey, Like a Virgin hits #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in December 1984. It stays there for 6 weeks. The album, also called Like a Virgin, goes multi-platinum. By early 1985, Madonna is everywhere. Magazine covers, TV appearances, fashion trends. Teenage girls are dressing like her lace gloves, crucifixes, messy hair. But with fame comes scrutiny. The media starts digging into her past. Those nude photos from 1979. They surface. Penthouse and Playboy publish them. People expect Madonna to be embarrassed, to apologize, to hide. Instead, she gives an interview and says, Madonna, I'm not ashamed. I needed money. I was surviving. And those photos are part of my story. If people want to judge me for that, that's their problem, not mine, Casey. And just like that, the scandal loses its power. Because Madonna refuses to be a victim of her own past. You know, folks, every week we get thousands of letters here at American Top 40, people requesting songs, sharing their stories, telling us how music has touched their lives. But this week, there's one letter that I have to share with you. Because it connects to everything we've been talking about Madonna's journey. The refusal to give up, the power of believing in yourself even when nobody else does. This letter is from Detroit, Michigan. It's from a woman named Patricia. And here's what she writes. Dear Casey, my name is Patricia, but most people call me Pat. I'm 32 years old. I'm a single mother of 2, Sarah, who's 7, and Michael, who's 4. I work 2 jobs. During the day, I'm a cashier at a grocery store on 8 Mile Road. At night, 3 times a week. I clean office buildings downtown. I get home around midnight, sleep for 5 hours. And then I do it all again. I'm not telling you this for pity, Casey. I'm telling you because I need you to understand where I'm coming from. When I was 19, God, that feels like a lifetime ago, I wanted to be a singer. I know. Everyone wants to be a singer, right? But Casey, I really thought I had something. I sang in my church choir. I sang at school talent shows. People told me I had a gift. My mother said I sounded like Aretha Franklin. My best friend said I could be the next Diana Ross. I had notebooks full of songs I'd written. Late at night, I'd sit in my room with my little tape recorder and just sing. I'd imagine myself on stage, under the lights, with people singing along. It felt so real, Casey, so possible. But then life happened. I got pregnant when I was 20. The father of my boyfriend at the time, he left, just vanished. One day he was there. The next day he was gone. I haven't seen him since. My parents were devastated. My father didn't speak to me for 6 months. My mother said, Patricia, you need to grow up now. You're a mother. Singing is a dream. Dreams don't pay bills. And she was right, wasn't she? Dreams don't pay for diapers. Dreams don't keep the lights on. So I stopped. I put those notebooks in a box. I put that tape recorder in the closet. I got a job. I focused on being a mom. And I told myself, that's okay. That part of your life is over. And that's okay. But Casey, it wasn't okay. Because I spent the next 12 years feeling like something was missing. Like I'd left a piece of myself behind in that box in the closet. 2 weeks ago, I was driving my kids to school. Sarah was in the back seat, playing with her doll. Michael was half asleep. And your show came on the radio. You were talking about Madonna's story, how she'd been rejected, how she lived in her car, how everyone told her she wasn't good enough. And I started crying. Not Sarah noticed. She said, Mommy, why are you crying? Are you sad? And I didn't know how to explain it. So I just said, no, baby, I'm not sad. I'm just thinking. But then she asked me something that broke my heart. She said, Mommy, did you want to be a singer like that lady? And I realized I'd told my kids about my past. I'd told them stories about when I was young, about singing in church. But I'd always said it like it was a fairy tale. Like it was something that happened to someone else. So I told her the truth. I said, yes, baby. I wanted to be a singer. But I gave up, and you know what my 7-year-old daughter said to me, Casey? She said, did you give up because you weren't good? Or did you give up because it was too hard? I didn't know how to answer that. Because the truth is, I gave up because I was scared. I was scared of failing. I was scared of people laughing at me. I was scared of being 30 years old, broke, still chasing a dream. But Madonna didn't give up. She was 25, broke, rejected 37 times, and she didn't give up. That night, after I put the kids to bed, I went to the closet. I found that box. I opened it for the first time in 12 years, and I found my notebooks. Pages and pages of songs I'd written when I was 19, 20, 21, and Casey. They weren't bad. They were actually pretty good. So I did something crazy. I took out that old tape recorder. I charged the batteries, and I sang one of those songs, just me, in my kitchen, at midnight. And for the first time in 12 years, I felt like myself again. I don't know what's going to happen. Casey, I don't know if I'll ever record an album or perform on a stage. Maybe I won't. Maybe this is just for me, and that's okay. But I do know this. I'm not giving up anymore. I'm 32, not 82. I have time. And if Madonna could start from nothing at 25, maybe I can start again at 3. So Casey, I have a request. Could you tell my daughter Sarah something for me? Tell her that her mommy is going to keep reaching for the stars even if she's doing it from a grocery store checkout line. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for telling these stories. They matter more than you know. With love and hope. Patricia Wilson, Detroit, Michigan.